Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this laptop. This is a custom notebook. I guess I'll get the model information later because I don't really see it here. So the customer sent me the actual model information. But anyways, here we go. Sorry for this unnecessary extra ramble of stuff. We're going to be using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove the screws from the bottom. Main reason is to disconnect the battery. We are going to be replacing the screen because the screen is damaged. And I already took this original screen or pulled the original screen out to check the model number. Yeah, we do need to pull it out again to basically replace the panel. I am most likely going to have to reapply some double-sided adhesive. It did originally have some stretch adhesive that didn't work too well, and I will kind of show that and explain it once I get to that point. Alright, so anyways, if this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, looks like that screw's stuck. Let's try with a magnet to see if it comes out. There we go. Alright. Not sure if I mentioned it, but alright, if you can't really help out by contributing a little to the channel monetarily, it always helps a lot if you could watch a few of my videos and then like and comment on those, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. I also have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. Currently I am posting those review videos to this channel as well, but eventually once that one gains enough traction, I'll most likely just be posting the reviews to that channel. So if you like my reviews, or if you're just curious or just want to help out, if you could search that channel. It's called It's Been Reviewed and More, I believe. Same profile picture but zoomed in, and yeah, that one will really help. Alright, anyways, we just got to get the battery out, okay, or disconnected. So let's see if we can pop the cover off here. So you can see a gap between the bottom cover and that. So I'm going to try and go here with my fingernails and then push with my thumb and see if it pops. Alright, and doesn't look like the clips pop that way. So we'll probably have to pull it out from this side. Let's see if we go from here. Okay, you can see if you put your palms here and pull up. I don't know if it's because you see how the vents, the customer like broke all of them. But you can see how that kind of popped up. And then I'm kind of pushing with my thumb here, wiggling, and let's see. I might have to get my fingernails in the gaps over here to kind of help with the clips, and you can see how it kind of came up. I think just lifting from this corner here kind of helped, because it looks like this corner is the one that's getting stuck. So kind of pushing that, and then somehow, oh, there we go. Somehow lifting it off the table made it pop out. Kind of interesting. All right, so there we go. We got the whole back, but the side a little bit towards the front is kind of having issues. So let's see. Gonna continue. I'm gonna again use my fingernails and see if I can help pop some clips here. Okay, these clips don't seem to want to come out, so let's see if there's a way by pushing on it, maybe pushing while pulling up here. And wow, these clips, however they have it holding, is kind of, I don't know, it doesn't want to pop out. Let's go ahead and try again over here. This side actually is coming out almost all the way. Let's see if I can see how the clips are holding in there. Actually, I don't see any clips there. Maybe the customer tried to open this before and then cracked all the clips off, because I didn't feel any of them break. So that's interesting. Okay, and let's see if I pull down this way while trying to get it out. No. What about going this way? No. Wow, whatever clip design is here is kind of weird. It doesn't want to pop out. Maybe I just lift harder? No? Jeez, okay. There we go. That somehow worked. And then we're going to go ahead and try and pop the front, and there we go. Okay, let's see if we can find the clips here. So the clips, there's one here, and one here for the front. And then these clips, they actually clip sideways. You see this clip? So actually, looking at the clip design, I only see one clip here. see this side, I think it's missing the clips. But it looks like this kind of cover, it would help to pull it this direction. So let me see if I click it back down. Technically, if you can lift this, okay, once you get that lifted, it would help to kind of, you see that? Pull it this way. So this clip, you see how it clicks? If I pull it, it's kind of holding on. But if you pull it this way while you're kind of lifting, then it comes out, okay? So we gotta first get the back, and then you can see how this all just popped out. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. All right, just took a little while to figure out how the clips are holding it. I am gonna have to clean this up because it is pretty dusty inside. And then here you can see the battery here. We are gonna disconnect this. So the battery connector, let me actually zoom in here a little bit for you so you can see the battery connector right there. I use my fingernails. There's like a slight wing here. So what I do is I use my fingernail and just wiggle it like this. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. And just keep slowly wiggling it, and eventually it should walk its way out until it disconnects. You can see the gap where the marker was drawn is getting bigger, and there we go. Okay, so they do mark this so you don't accidentally put the connector upside down. If you look at the other side, you see the little metal pins. All right, if it's right side up, it's just the solid white. Sometimes on some models it's flipped the other way, so keep that in mind. Not every model is designed the same way, so don't just use the same exact way for the connector, because then you might put it upside down. Anyways, let me clean the dust out of here, and then I'll be back. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. So we cleaned it up. You can see it's a lot less dusty now. The fans are a lot cleaner. Let's go ahead and continue. So, next thing we got to do, one thing I recommend that I didn't do yet is to actually open up the laptop after disconnecting the battery. Okay, and then you want to press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. So we'll hold it. All right, a lot of people ask me, is this a required step? I mean, it's 15 seconds. If you can't take 15 seconds to make sure your computer doesn't get blown up, then I don't think you should work on it. All right, anyways, 15 seconds, hold the power button or more, and there we go. All right, so next thing, let's go ahead and take a look at what we got inside here. So again, we'll look at that. All right, let's zoom in. I'm going to show the little components. So you got 2 slots for RAM here. Okay, so there's one here and one here. I think the customer upgraded it because usually this G.Skill kind of memory is not installed from factory, although this looks like a custom gaming laptop, so maybe. All right, this is a DDR4 2400, so PC4 2400 RAM. Should be okay with any DDR4 2400 RAM. So if you see 2 16 gig sticks and you want to upgrade to that, you can. I don't know if they have that size or 32 gigs. I don't know what's available right now, but anyways, you should be okay with any 2 size DDR4 sticks of RAM as long as they're the same 2400 megahertz. If they're not, then they still might work, but I don't know because it depends what the motherboard is capable of handling. So you got this fan here with the connector right there. This is the CPU. Yeah, pretty sure this is, I don't know, because they have this extra stuff. But more likely this is the CPU, and then this is more likely the GPU. I could be wrong. If I am, I'm sorry. But I don't know. I can't tell. Usually when it has all this extra heatsink here, that's for like the video card RAM, so VRAM or whatever you want to call it. All right, there's another fan here, and you got this connector right there. You got the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. It is a CR2032W. This is in this casing, so if you just get a CR2032, you're just going to get the coin cell, and it's not going to work. You do need the little wires coming out, and if you're wondering, I mean, you'll probably want to check yours, but the connector, the red one is going towards the battery and the black one is going towards the wireless card. This is the wireless card. There's some tape here covering the antennas here. the antennas. If you want to see how to remove them, I have other videos where I actually remove them, but you basically go from the tail and then just pull straight up, and it will basically pop the connector off. It'll go like tilt it that way and pop it off. Don't try and pop from the other side, or you can break the connector off. Sometimes the solder is bad on these as well, so if you're wondering why I don't just pop everything out to show it, that's why. Sometimes it can cause damage if the things aren't built properly. Alright, there's the speaker connector here. Wire goes down to this speaker, and then this from this speaker, a wire goes across to the other speaker here. Right, there's an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here, one screw, then it pops up slightly like the RAM. You can pull it out. There's a second slot for another if you wanted to add that. The two USB ports and the SD card slot here are on its own separate board. So you have this connector. This has a little flip latch on this side that you would just flip up like that, and then you can pull it out. And then there's a little connector here, flip latch on that side. I'm not 100% sure what that board is for, but there's a little board up there. Okay, let me see if that leads to anything that's easily, maybe the power button, possibly. Okay, is there anything that says? It doesn't say, so I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to mess around with that. This is most likely the keyboard connector. Flip latch is on this side. Okay, there's a little connector here that's not being used, so I just flip that latch down. Okay, and then this is most likely for the touchpad or trackpad. Flip latch on this side, and then keyboard backlight connectors on this side with the flip latch there. Okay, the reason why I say I'm not exactly sure is because sometimes they'll have these wires that look like they're for those components, and then they have extra ones that go underneath the motherboard, although in this case it looks like it's what I said it is. Alright, then you got this separate board, the audio board, as well as the USB and the Ethernet port here. Okay, and there's the connector here with the flip latch on this side. Okay, so these, they just flip up. I don't know if you saw, and then I just slide my finger over it to flip it back down. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, the LCD LVDS connector is right here. It has a little pull tab that you can use to pull it up, but usually I'll have to also go underneath the connector and just pop it up with my fingernail. Anyways, we're not really taking out any of that stuff. The main reason, like I said, is to replace the screen because the screen is broken. So yeah. Alright, there is usually adhesive all along this thing, but again, like I said, I did take this out before, so the adhesive is either weaker or no longer there. Anyways, let's go ahead and get the bezel out here because we are going to have to replace the screen. So usually I'll go from the inside of the screen and I'll use my fingernails to kind of pull up. You can see how the adhesive is kind of holding it. All right, let me actually zoom out a little bit more. So there's an adhesive that kind of is sticking it down to the panel. You can hear it. Okay, and I'm basically rotating it this way. So that causes the clip that's hooking in like this to pull itself away. And that's how we are going to release the bezel from the rest of the laptop. Okay, there's a lot of dust kind of in there. So anyways, we're going to go this way. These little rubber pieces do kind of fall out, so you want to be careful. Okay, again, I'm using my thumb now to kind of pull up and then using my finger to rotate it that way and push it in towards the center. So I just slide my finger like that, and the bottom is actually a separate piece, so this one makes it actually quite a bit easier to separate and replace. So kind of a nice design. I like it. All right, you can see they put double-sided adhesive on the whole entire backing of this. We're just going to set that aside for now. Okay, make sure you don't accidentally get stuff stuck to it because then you're going to have a hard time taking that out. All right, then we got the bezel down here. Let's actually rotate this. Again, there are the little rubber things here. Try not to lose them because otherwise when you close the screen, it's not going to have those little rubber pads to help it anymore. Okay, the bottom here, same thing. Pull forward in the middle, and then I'm pushing with my thumb here. You can see how it pops out. Okay, just like that, and just work your way over. You might have to actually open the screen a lot more so that this bezel piece can come out, and there we go. All right, so you can see there are some clips down there as well. So we'll set that aside. Originally, there were little pull tabs here that are stretch release adhesives, and you pull like this. But those, you pull, it was too thin, and then they just break. So not very good stretch release adhesives. What I ended up having to do was to actually pry the screen forward. So I had to get my finger under here and just keep pulling on it like this, slowly, very slowly. As you can see, I'm pulling on it right now and it's not just coming forward. That's because there's still that adhesive back there. I didn't remove it, but I left it and put it back. So as you can see, as you kind of pull on this slowly, you can hear it separating. Okay, but originally it took a lot more force and took a lot more time to separate the adhesive because the adhesive was like stuck brand new there. Okay, you can actually see this rubber piece fell out again, so make sure to put it back in there. Okay, the bottom portion of this little rubber foot is thicker, so when you put the bezel back on, it will actually hold it in place. If you want, you can actually take this out and then the rubber piece out and then leave it out until you're done. Just make sure you don't lose it. Okay. Oh, the speakers also, they're not held in with any screws back here, so you want to be careful because these speakers, they can just fall out. Okay, so the speaker, it was just coming out because there's no screws, it's just held in with these little rubber thing. So make sure you keep an eye on those, hold on to them, make sure you don't drop them. All right, so here you go. Now we got this out. You can see the double-sided adhesive thing. They put, I don't know why, but they put a like plastic strip attached to it. So if I peel this off, you see there's like some glue. It's not really double-sided adhesive. So normally there's a stretch release adhesive that you slowly peel and it will come out. But yeah, they stuck the adhesive to the metal thing here, and it looks like if you really wanted to just pull the screen forward and not actually remove the screen from the whole housing or bezel, it looks like, let me see if I can zoom out here. All right, it actually looks like you can remove the screws here, here, and then you can undo the bezel screw, or not the bezel, the hinge screws as well. Okay, these rubber things keep wanting to fall out, so I have to be careful that they don't get lost. Alright, so again, I want to make sure I put it the right way. Maybe I'll just take them out for now so they don't get lost, and then we'll put it back when we put back the rest, because these ones stay in place. Alright, but the others for some reason don't. Okay, so we're gonna let this flip back down. We need to disconnect this cable. I'll show you the screen model number once I get the screen out. But for now, let's go ahead and work on getting the LCD, LVDS cable connector, whatever you call this thing. I don't know. They change the name depending on what type of screen it is, I guess. Okay, so we have the tape here. I'm going to use a plastic razor blade to help with this, although you can just use anything to kind of get under here and then peel it. But I like the plastic razor blade because usually I can like go from a corner from back here, and then I can actually like go and kind of cut under the adhesive, although for some reason it's not wanting to work. What is going on here? Oh, there we go. Okay, maybe that one got a little dull. Okay, so we got it peeled up a little, as you can see, and then I'm going to work my way and peel it. And usually what I like to do is kind of roll the adhesive, roll it like this, okay, to slowly work my way down. Okay, just like that, slowly working it, rolling it, just like this. Roll it. If the adhesive separates from this piece, then you could always just put some new tape across the entire thing all the way out here to help hold the connector in place. Okay, now that we got this out, this model doesn't have a latch on it, so we basically just need to go back to where the golden part is. I use my fingernail there and there on the golden one, and then I pull it back just like that. Okay, so here's the screen. I'm going to flip it over so you can see the screen model number information. Here it is, LP173WFG, and then in parentheses SP and parentheses B1. All right, you can see here also LP173WFG-SPB1. Okay, so if you need a replacement screen, that's what you would search, and that's what you would get. All right, so let's go ahead and open the replacement screen now and see about installing that. Okay, so I got this box. We're gonna have to cut it open. All right, so let's go ahead and cut this guy here and cut that there. Okay, how'd they do this box? Oh, okay, it's one of those. It opens like that. And interesting, they put a giant plastic thing in here. This is the first time I've never seen a screen. What the heck? It's not even in the... So the screen is separate. It's out here. Okay, so this thing looks like it holds smaller screens. Never seen that before. All right, and then they have this taped on this kind of thicker cardboard. If you're wondering why I show this, it's because sometimes sellers ship me stuff that's either it gets damaged in shipping, or they, I don't know, maybe ship something that's already damaged and then try and blame it on me or whoever. It's the shipping whoever, right? So I want to make sure that what happens to this is all on camera, hopefully. Okay, so it looks like they wrap this around and it has adhesive as well. You want to be careful. You don't want to like put pressure on the screen while doing this. So if you're peeling this, just be careful not to apply too much force on the screen while trying to open it up. All right, so it looks like they did provide 2 stretch release adhesive tabs. But let's go ahead and get the screen out first. Also, the screen appears to not be the same model number as they mentioned on the listing. So usually that means they just sent a compatible model, but sometimes the compatible model is not actually compatible. So keep that in mind, all right? Here's the double-sided stretch release adhesives that they provided here. We'll set that aside. And here's the screen. They do have a protective thing on top to prevent it from getting scratched, and you can see it's actually matte, all right? So this layer makes it look glossy, but actually it's matte. So we're gonna flip this over and see the connector. What we wanna do is check with the old screen and make sure that the connectors line up, and they do. All right, they look to be the same size, although one is silver and one is gold. The original one is like a silver, the new one is gold. And again, the old model number is LP173WFG-SPB1. And the replacement one that they sent is, let's see here, it's a BOE, so different brand. And you can see it's down here. Let me zoom in for you. So the screen model number on here is NV173FHM-NX4 version 8.1. So hopefully no compatibility issues here. We'll find out. Usually you don't know until you go and install it. The sellers usually will say they sent a compatible one. So if for some reason it doesn't work, all right, you can see I unrouted this. But if for some reason it doesn't work, then you can go back to the seller and tell them, hey, you sent me a screen. It's not what the item number you ordered, and it's not working right. But if your screen is just staying black, okay, so hopefully you can see how I got the connector in. Make sure you get it to go underneath those two. Let me see if I show you here. You see this corner and this corner? There are like little holes in there. Make sure that the connector goes under there and that you're not bending that, all right? So now that we got that in place, I like to use my fingernails on the edges of the gold portion to help pull the connector in. You should feel it click, okay? That looks good, and we'll try a little more. Oh, okay, it actually clicked a little more, so good thing I checked. All right, and then once you make sure to pull it all the way in, you can pull this and then stick that back down. All right, so one thing I like to do before I put the adhesive and everything, because I don't want to stick it down and then find out later that the screen doesn't work or isn't compatible. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and lift this up here. Okay, get that into place. This way we can make sure it fits as well. We're going to go ahead and flip this back over. Okay, again, the speakers want to just fall out, so be careful with that. Line that back up. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to reconnect the battery. I don't know if the customer gave me their charger, so I hope the battery is charged enough and doesn't have that issue where some batteries or some laptops, they require you to plug it in. Make sure this connector goes in straight. Again, I like to pinch or I didn't mention that earlier, but I like to pinch this side and this side together, so that way you're not just pushing on this and putting all the pressure on the connector to the board. All right, so I'm gonna slowly close this so I don't have to worry about it falling over while I'm reconnecting the battery. Okay, again, make sure that this goes straight, hold it in straight, and then apply even pressure, just like that. All right, again, let's go ahead and see if it powers up and if the screen comes on. If it does, then we're good, and we can go ahead and put back the bezel, the adhesive, and everything like that. All right, we got that open. We're gonna press the power button. I do feel the fans coming on, so we should be good. All right, sometimes when you disconnect the battery, it takes extra long to power up, but there you go, PC laptops. All right, I've never seen this brand before, but yeah, now we can actually see the screen. It didn't show up before, and I can actually see Windows is loading. Let me turn off this light so it's easier to see. Oh, I forgot I have the flash on the camera on. All right, so once that's good, I don't think this is touchscreen. Okay, usually after that, it's always a good idea to restart the computer one time. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna do a restart. Okay, the reason for doing this is you want the computer to restart the system files and detect any new hardware changes, since the screen is new, especially since it's a different model. Yeah, you wanna do that, all right? So there we go, it's turning on again, and we should be good. So I'm gonna shut it down once this is done booting, and then we're gonna go ahead and reassemble everything, okay? So it's booting up again. All right, let's go ahead and shut this down. Also, if you didn't notice, it's 3:26 a.m. So yeah, I'm not getting any sleep, as usual, if you've noticed from my videos. All right. Hopefully I don't die young, although I probably will. Okay, anyways. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna flip this over just so it's easier for me to work on, okay? You do want to make sure this cable goes in the right way, but for now, we're gonna use this to flip the screen up, okay? And we're gonna rest the screen like this, okay? Actually, let me get the wire back in the right spot so it's easier to have it lay down properly. Okay, make sure you have the wire go through the proper guide, plastic guide thingies here. There we go. And now we're gonna rotate this up so it stays. Make sure that it's tilted back so that the screen won't just fall over. You can see the weight of it is pulling itself the other way now. All right, so what we're gonna do, we need these stretch release adhesive tabs, and we're gonna put it here so that this blue portion here, okay, this is what you would use to pull it, will be down here. All right, so actually, okay, I misspoke. Okay, we actually want this side over here, these little corners here. So what we're gonna do, we'll peel this off, okay, and the little pointy part we're gonna have face down here. I'm gonna try and get it as close to the edge of this as I can. It's not that important to do that, but I'll try. All right, so anyways, we'll go like this and hold it down, and then we'll just go up along the edge here, just like that. Okay, so there we go, stick that down. All right, and if you look at this adhesive here, they put this little tab behind. Don't peel that off, because that will make it so if you need to peel this up later, it's easier to grab, okay? So we're gonna get this tab as well. Okay, again, we'll stick this down here. All right, and then I'll just try and get it close to the edge like that, and then just smush it all down. Okay, so now that we got that, we can go ahead and peel the adhesive protective here off. Okay, so just grab this and roll it like this, okay? All right, same thing on this side. Don't pull it straight up, because that might just separate it from the backing here. You want to roll it again, just like that, okay? And you saw how this one kind of can come up, so it's easy to peel. Okay, so the other thing, when you put this down, you want to be very careful, because if you put it down wrong, you only have one chance at this, and then if you mess up, you're gonna have to peel this out, and then you're probably gonna mess up this adhesive. So what you want to do, you want to aim for the top edge here and the top edge here. So what I do is I'll flip this, I'll get my fingers underneath, okay? And what I do is I will aim for one corner. So in this case, the corner over here, because the way that the cable is set up, okay? If anything, actually let me untuck it so I have more slack here, okay? And now I can actually go for either side, but I'm gonna still go for this side. We'll start, you see how it's resting on top of the screw. We'll slowly slide it down until it falls into place. And again, you want to go slow. So there we go. That's in. And then we'll go on this side and we'll pull it up to try and get this as flush as you can with these. So it won't actually go all the way to this, but this plastic portion here, it prevents it. So that's as high as you can get it. So pull both sides and then lower it down and drop it into place. And then you can go ahead and push that in. Make sure that you again tuck this cable into place. Okay, you don't want it on top of that because then when you put the bezel, it might pinch it and it can damage that cable. So be very careful. Actually, this wireless antenna looks like it's somewhat coming out. What the? Okay, so I'm going to try and guide this wireless antenna back in here because it looks like it's going where it shouldn't. And we'll push that in, tuck that over there, and tuck that over here. Okay, basically we just want it to fill this empty area. There we go. And we don't want it to be loose coming out all over the place. This one's kind of a little bit, make sure it gets tucked under there. All right, hopefully that will stay for when we go to put the bezel. All right, now that we've already tested it, I mean, we can test it again now that we put the screen in, make sure that nothing came loose here. Okay, I'm gonna press F2 just in case if it goes to the, or F2 and delete. There we go, so we can go to the BIOS and then just turn it back off. All right, so I'll turn this back off, holding the power button. All right, so now that we got this in place, we're gonna go ahead and peel this out. So roll it off again. Don't pull it up because you don't wanna separate the layers of the screen. The screen is actually made up of multiple layers. And I mean, while the risk of pulling it up is very low, like chance of causing damage, you still don't wanna risk that. Okay, next thing we got, so we got the bezel, we got the bottom and the top. We can go ahead and put the bottom first. Again, for this, you want to kind of tilt it a lot, and then we can go ahead and get this over there. So get that in, line it up. Okay, that in place. Did I not tilt it enough? Okay, so get that bottom portion in. Okay, and then we can go ahead and line this and click that into place. Okay, when you go to do this, you do want to get your hand behind it so you can help, and it helps also to fold this to about 90 degrees. We're going to go ahead and lift it this way so we have a little bit more ease to get behind. So get your hand behind and then make sure so you can push on both sides and just make sure everything is good. All right, we'll go ahead and do that, and then we can slightly close it more all the way and see if this lines up. You can see how the gap here is closed, so we should be good. All right, since we got everything already in, we can go ahead and get the bottom cover on, just because then we don't have to worry about the speakers and stuff flopping around and falling out. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Here's the bottom cover, and then just push it all down into place, make sure it clicks, and we should be good. Again, some of these clips I think the customer already broke, so that's why it's not really clippy. Anyways, let's go ahead and get all these screws back in, and then we'll get the bezel. Other than that, that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, if it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Again, if you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Again, I also have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. I'm trying to grow out that channel. Currently, I post the reviews on this channel as well, but eventually my review videos will be all on that channel. So if you like seeing my review videos, or you just want to help me out because I helped you out by making these videos, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe over there. And yeah, alright, let's go ahead and get all these screws back in and then get the bezel on, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, not too difficult of a repair. Pretty nice, pretty easy. You do want to check your screen. I feel for these custom gaming computers, it's more important to do that. And the reason for that is sometimes these custom ones, they have multiple options of like parts that are compatible. Oh, this one, the screw thing is actually broken. So yeah, a lot of times these custom gaming computers, they'll have like custom screens, and those custom screens also affect like the cable behind. So there's different cables, different widths, different all these kinds of things for higher frequency refresh rates and stuff like that. So it's always a good idea to check your own screen first and not to just go based off this video. But yeah, I mean, if you're not going to open it the first time to check, then I don't know if you should risk doing it once you like waiting until you have the part. So yeah, all right, anyways, we got that. Now we got to get these rubber pieces back in. Again, you want to check and make sure you put the right side down, and kind of the way I know is the correct side that goes down is more flat, and then the side that goes up is more round. Okay, so this is going to be hard to put in right now because we can't really see where to put it. So what we got to do is we got to get the bezel on first, line up the corner. Okay, so let me actually put this more in view. So line up the corner first, and then once you get that, you'll see where this little notch is, and then that's how you know where to put the little rubber piece. So you can see, okay, it goes around there, and then you can use this to kind of help guide it. Okay, so I pushed the rubber piece into the wall there with that, and then now we got that corner. You can push that corner down. All right, we're gonna do the same thing over here with this one. Just get it in there. Okay. I get it there, and then use this to help line it up. Here we go, and there. All right, so now that we got all of this, we're gonna go ahead and just work our way over. Make sure pushing it down all along as you go, and there we go. Okay, same thing, working our way down. Make sure it goes all the way to the edge. You don't want it kind of curving outwards, and there we go. All right, so push that all down, and we should be good to go. You can go ahead and power it up one more time. If you want, you can add some double-sided adhesive to the back here so you don't have this like popping out a little. It won't really affect anything having that pop out. The only thing is maybe dust or something might fall in there, but it won't affect anything. If you get like something big back there that's stuck and then you push on it, then you might damage it. So let me show you if you want to seal it. Again, open this all the way. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pop this back up. Just because it's sticking up a little, we might as well seal it. So we're going to put some double-sided adhesive across here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab some double-sided adhesive. So we have this. This is a two-sided, double-sided acrylic adhesive. Okay. Pretty much any double-sided adhesive that sticks well to this kind of plastic will be fine, but yeah, they have like some more fabric-y ones that are even stickier. Okay, but I find this acrylic one works well, so I'll cut about the length of that piece. All right, and then we just gotta line it up. I'm going to turn it around so it's easier for me to reach here, and let me make sure to double check the length. Looks good. All right, so we're just gonna stick one edge down here first. think I cut it a little bit shorter than the actual length, so we're going to start it over there. Okay, and then pull it all the way, line it up, try and get it close to the edge, and then stick that down. Yep. All right, so now we got to get all the rest of this. Oh, it's not lined up right. Uh-oh. It's sticking out slightly above the edge. I don't want that because then it will be visible on top of the screen. So let's go ahead and peel this back up if we can. Okay. Alright, accidentally stuck it too close to the edge that it's kind of going past the edge. So make sure that you don't have that happening, because otherwise you'll see the adhesive sticking up and then things will stick to it. Dust, lint, hair, feathers, whatever, crumbs. Okay, so I'm going to slowly work my way up as I go to try and keep it slightly below the edge. There we go. Then stick it all down just like that. There we go. And then we'll peel off this adhesive protective layer. Okay. And pretty obvious, the last step is just put the bezel back on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their device as well. Again, if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, not really much else to this. Again, just make sure to pop it all back in. Alright, just like that. Make sure this all goes back in as well. Good. Okay, and then you can go ahead and clip all of that. And I like to put this flat on here if I can, like that. Push that all down and then work my way here and then stick the adhesive down. And there we go. Now this won't go anywhere. All right, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe again. Yeah, and help with my other channel if you can, my It's Been Reviewed one. All right, thanks again for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. All right, got this. Let's drop it. Bye.